I'm Andy Conte, Director of the Center for Media Innovation at Point Park University. We're holding these conversations about the state of the media amid the coronavirus in order to get a better sense of where things are going and where we've been. We're joined today by one of our judges, Amber Hunt, who's also a reporter for the Cincinnati Enquirer. She's the host of the Accused podcast, which reached number 1 on Apple Podcasts and has had more than 20 million downloads. And she's also the author of several books, including the New York Times bestseller, The Kennedy Wives. Amber, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start off right from the beginning. We're talking about the coronavirus pandemic. How are you feeling it? You're at one of the Gannett-owned newspapers that's had furloughs. So what has that meant for you?
It's been pretty tumultuous, honestly. When we've heard that we should go home for 2 weeks, I stupidly thought we were going home for 2 weeks, like we'd just be working from home and then we would go back. But no, turns out it's going to last a bit longer than that.
I mean, one of the paradoxes of what's going on now, though, is that, at the same time that revenues have just completely disappeared in terms of advertising, clicks are way up. We're seeing a lot of news outlets saying they're getting more attention for their stories than ever before. How do you deal with that paradox, and what advice do you have for people who are turning to news outlets and maybe not paying for it?
It really drives me nuts. I don't know how to get them to pay for it when they don't have to. The nice part about this is that people are realizing how much they are reliant on their local news. Maybe, hopefully, when we all start to feel a little more secure financially, that they'll remember that and they'll shoot over $5 a month or whatever it costs.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big advocate for reminding people that if you're turning to a news outlet, you need to do something to support that news outlet, because somebody has to pay for the journalist, somebody has to feed your kid.
Exactly.
The news just doesn't happen on its own.
Well, and good journalism especially is very expensive, which is why fellowships are nice.
Well, yeah, so in terms of the Doris O'Donnell Fellowship, I'm so grateful to you. You were with us last year. You came on when we asked you to be a judge the first time around. What brought you back for the second round this year?
The story ideas that we read last year were so exciting. It's just really nice, especially, I'm lucky I get to work a year on a story. For the most part, journalists don't really get to do that. And these were ideas that were so big and ambitious in scope that, of course, even just reading them, like for a selfish reason, it's inspiring, and then you get ideas and then it helps you.
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree, especially at a time when journalism continues to go through so much downsizing and turmoil and disruption. It was uplifting to look at all the ideas that people had for stories and then to be able to fund one of them. And so going into year 2, we've actually been able to get some more money for the second and third place prizes as well. So things you're particularly looking out for this year, especially as we're part of this pandemic and the crisis, and as we talked about, people are turning to news more than ever.
What I did notice last year that I think would be wise this year is some of them were so grand in scope that you couldn't see how it would possibly get done within that budget or that time frame. And so it does need to be, in my opinion, fine-tuned enough that we can wrap our heads around what specifically you're hoping to accomplish.
Well, I think there were some journalists last year who were maybe a little intimidated about the idea of trying, it's $20,000 is a lot for first place. But do you have any recommendations for people as they're thinking about whether to apply for it?
Most of the jobs I've gotten in my life, I had no business getting, but I applied for them anyway. So go ahead, do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Well, Amber, thanks again for coming on to today's show. And thank you also for being a judge. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
For more information about the Doris O'Donnell Fellowship, you can go to dorisodonnellfellowship.com. And to learn about the Center for Media Innovation, you can go to pointpark.edu/CMI. The deadline for this year's fellowship applications is June 30th. We look forward to hearing from you.